Later today, I have a live stream and I want to run you through the process of what I do to build out the show in my streaming software. So let's jump on in. Okay, so now we are in vMix. This is the software I use, and I want to walk you through everything how I go about setting everything up. Really what I do is I always copy from a previous one and then kind of make adjustments there. I kind of have a base one that I usually use. I'll copy from that and then I'll make any adjustments. So first of all, we are in the all view right now. So that's the first thing you're gonna kind of notice. I'm not gonna do a full in-depth vMix, just want to do some kind of high level. These are the things I think about building first when building out the streaming software. So this is going to work if you're on Ecamm, this is going to work if you're on Wirecast, vMix. It just obviously is going to be slightly different depending on which software you're in. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to build out the cameras. So for here, I know I have basically two main camera inputs. These are going to be like physical cameras or capture cards going into the software. So both offline, I have everything packed right now, but this is kind of my main camera. It's the one I use, the Ultra Studio Mini Recorder. And if you want a link to all the gear I use for live streaming, just simply hit the card up above. I have a few different versions of my gear list. I'll have a mobile one linked above, but also in the description, I will have a gear guide that you can go check out as well. So this is the first one I build out. This is the one that if I need to, because of the stream that we're doing, I have this as kind of the backup to bring in a second computer because we're going to be remote bringing in a bunch of people through Zoom. So this is going to be my backup option as well as a potential camera option. Ideally, first, it's the camera. Second, it's the backup to bring in Zoom because Zoom's going to be very important in this stream. This right here is the second camera. This is a PTZ camera, which means I can pan, tilt, and zoom it in all kinds of different directions, so I can control it with a joystick. So those are the first two things I'm going to work to bring in. Now, because of the one that I mentioned, because of this one, we do have the desktop capture here. So this will be capturing a second screen. I'm going to have a second screen hooked up to this computer, and Zoom is going to be playing on that second screen. Right now, it obviously defaults to capturing this screen. That's why you see the infinite little things here. But this is designed to capture that second display where Zoom will be living, and I'll be capturing everything from there. This is the audio for that. And I'm not going to run through, again, all of this, but these are this is basically an extension of another camera because of the type of stream we're doing, and Zoom is going to be playing such a big part. This I consider as the second part of that camera. So that's the next thing I'm going to bring in. I also know that we want to do some side-by-sides. So what that means is we're going to have a host, and we're going to want to be bringing in the Zoom call as well. So I made this little graphic. So this is just kind of a basic graphic. It's a PNG. You can make it in Keynote, which is actually what I did, Keynote, and then I just got rid of the two little squares here, made that transparent. And then if we go in here and we go to multi-view, you're going to notice I have the USB capture SDI going on the one side, that's on this side, so that's going to be kind of the host camera. And then for this one, I have the Ultra Studio Mini Recorder over here. This is going to change depending on how we end up bringing in Zoom. Hopefully I'm going to be able to switch that to the desktop capture, but I have it set up here now, just because I know the Ultra Studio is going to work. So if I need to, I will jump to that right away, but hopefully I'll be able to change that once I get there and start setting up. So that is another camera angle, if you will. So those are kind of the main ones. I have camera 1, camera 2, camera 3, and then camera 4. And then this is the audio for camera 4. I just set that up right away as well and mentioned that right away as well because that's going to be integrated with everything. But that is the next step, is to bring in audio. So I use a Scarlett, Focusrite Scarlett 2i2. It's kind of the interface with the laptop here. I will do other interfaces depending on how many mics we need and all of that. But for right now, that works for this one. So I have input 1 and input 2. I'll mainly be using input 1 if we need a second mic then we'll use input 2. But this is going to be, once it's hooked up, this is going to be the in-person host's audio. I always like to add a little music so that if we need to, we can play this music. And then I just have it playing right now. It's kind of playing in the background. It's on a loop, so it just will keep going. And then all I have with my X keys, I have it so I can turn it off, so I can turn it on, or turn it off very quickly with just one press of a button on my X keys, which I'll be using to control it, or obviously from right here as well. Audio line in. This one specifically, let's clean this up a little bit. This one specifically is for, and which also made me realize I have some of these in the wrong spot, but this one is for the Ultra Studio Mini Recorder. So this is, if I do end up using that route, this is the audio I need to bring in order to make sure that the Zoom people are able to hear me. So I want to, because I like things to be neat and orderly and easy to find, I find that that just makes everything flow smooth. I'm going to switch this one. This is only going to be specific if you're using vMix, but I'm going to switch it to the audio bin. So that way I have all the audio right here in one spot, which makes it super easy to find everything. Now, once the camera and audio are set up, the next thing I'm going to always do is lower thirds. So I like to make sure we have all kinds of options for lower thirds, and really everybody is ready to go with their lower thirds. So I create a blank one where I can edit this text using the text editor. And if you notice here, just with vMix, you can set up different overlays to have different actions. So because of the way I designed this lower third, so this lower third here, I have it set up so that when I press overlay 1, and the same way for everything, overlay 1 will do the exact same actions for all of them. So these are very simple lower thirds that I created. I will actually, in a future video, go through. So if you want to check out this video right here, I will go through and talk to you about how to actually create lower thirds, the simple way, multiple different ways, but how you can actually create lower thirds for your videos, for your streams, no matter which software you use. So just tap that video and you can check that out. But with vMix, overlay 1 slides in from the left and waits 7 seconds and then disappears. So I have that set up that way. This one is the one I can edit. So I have it so I can change things to whichever text editor I want, and I can go through and make any adjustments on the fly. Another overlay I always add is this one. It is bringing in comments. So this is from the Facebook post. So with vMix, you have something called vMix Social, which I can do a full breakdown on that here in a future video as well, if that's something that people are interested in. But you can bring in comments that way. So I have that always created and ready to go. And that is actually using one of their templates. They have a template in vMix, Social Title 1, I believe it's called. So you can just go there, and that's what I use for this one. But then I go through and create lower thirds for every single one. So Bricks Coworking is the main sponsor, the title sponsor. So they're one that I'm going to have. Designs by Heinz created that one. I have one for our host. I have one for 11 Music Career Center, which is another title sponsor. One for each of the musicians. I have myself, because I'm a sponsor. Kelsey, she's another musician. Monona East Side. So you can see that's really kind of the next big thing, is just go through and get all of these overlays set up and ready to go. Just want to break in here and say hopefully you're enjoying this video. If you are, please give it a like, thumbs up, that'd be really appreciated. Also, be sure to subscribe to this channel if you want to make sure you don't miss a single video. I'm releasing more and more every single week. And if you are into live streaming or want to get started with live streaming, be sure to download my live streaming checklist. This is going to be kind of walk you through everything you need to think about before you jump in and do your live stream event. I do this for every single stream and quickly run through this checklist. I've gotten faster at it, but I do it still every single time before I stream. So head on over to nickpalkowski.com/checklist. And then from you have basically, at this point, you have basically everything you really need to run the stream is all there, including the lower thirds, which is the first real nice to have piece. From there, then I'm going to do just some general kind of manage the stream type stuff. So I like to, jump into media. And this is where I keep kind of all of the extra media. So you're going to notice this right here. I have a little countdown clock, 5-minute countdown timer. But really the big thing here is this. So I always have this play on the overlay 3 because I have that set up to fade in. So we're going to fade in, it's going to stay, and then you see we have a little countdown timer, show begins, and you're going to be able to see what's happening with the camera behind here. So it's just a transparent PNG file with a little white thing, kind of a white bar across here where I can write a comment, which I still need to set up at this point, but I'm going to add in a little title editor so I can easily add in any sort of comment I want right there. And then people are going to be able to see what's happening, and then they're going to be able to see we're going to get started in 5 minutes. So this is anytime we need to run a break or for anything like that, we're able to do this right there. This one is just left over from a previous one, so I'm going to go and close that. I just copied. This is how I usually do slides. So I'll have the camera here and then the slides here. But we don't need it for this one, so I'm going to go out and close that one out. And here is where I threw just the PNG for the side-by-side, just kind of right there, sitting and ready to go. And those are the main things I first do when I build out a stream, is going through, making sure all of this is there and ready to go, and then all of it works is kind of the next thing, is to really go through and test each piece. That's the first thing I'm going to do when I get on there, is I'm going to kind of do things in that order. First it's cameras, then it's audio, then it's making sure the stream is actually up and ready to go, and then it's testing music and all the little extras. And then I'm going to run through, for my X keys, I have shortcuts set up, and I'll go through all of that. But I will go through and talk about a lot of those things in a future video when I talk through more of my live streaming checklist. So if you be sure to subscribe if you don't want to miss out on that. That's the process I use to build out my live stream in the streaming software. And this works, like I said, across all different streaming softwares. You can do similar things. I specifically showed vMix here, but if you want to learn more about streaming in general or videography, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a single video that we release, and I will see you in the next one.